8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is Liam Hendricks, and you're watching Crosstown, Crosstalk on the Barroom Network.
Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
Every summer in Chicago, the sunshine spotlights the city's spectacular skyline. Its luxurious lakeshore, marvelous monuments, and the over 200 neighborhoods in the city. And it also brings to light two of the greatest sports franchises in the world. On the north side, it's the Cubs. On the south side, it's the White Sox. This is Crosstown Crosstalk.
Hello, and welcome to another very exciting episode of Crosstown Crosstalk presented by the Barroom Network. My name is Vinnie, Parise, and I am super stoked to be here with you today, talking about all the greatest and latest sports news coming at you, mostly Chicago baseball related, but there's all sorts of great things going on across all the sports right now, and there's nobody I'd rather have to come on after 2 weeks of an absence. I was in New Jersey taking in the Stadium Series game between the New Jersey Devils and the Philadelphia Flyers, amongst other things, including another Devils game and a bunch of other sports things as well. But very good trip, and I'm happy to be back after 2 weeks with my good friend, Joe Mandel.
What's up, Vin?
It feels like it's been 10 months.
It does. I don't feel like I remember what you look like anymore.
I know. When I saw your face, I'm like, oh, Joe Mandel. I know him. I'm very fond of him.
Oh, that's so sweet, buddy. I miss you.
I miss you too. It's funny. I do feel like if we did whatever circumstance kept us from doing a show together for a year, we'd be able to jump right back in as if nothing.
Absolutely, dude.
Not that I ever want that to happen. South Burbs Hitman is coming up very soon for those of you who are interested in the Chicago White Sox for whatever reason. Only a couple weeks away there, Joseph, from our Monday night.
Yeah, I think
with
we're
each other
looking at a March 18th premiere, I think.
Yeah, look at that. Wouldn't that be something? We'll see how much we actually talk about the White Sox this season, but who cares? We're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, it'll be fun no matter what. We just probably won't go 2 hours every week anymore. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? On nights that we do, I'm sure there'll be a lot of chat about pizza and Call of Duty and Pokemon as we've done in the past.
All the above, man.
But, what do we got movie-wise coming out this summer? Anything we could get a little nerdy for?
This is Deadpool, the new Deadpool.
Deadpool, oh yeah. Maybe we'll dedicate a whole South Burbs Hitman to South Deadpool Hitman.
There you go.
Very, very much looking forward to getting that underway. Stay tuned with the Barroom Network and Joe Mandel and Vinnie Parise on social media to see the upcoming season. Of course, Steven Zimmerman, too. Are you excited to chat with him starting again?
Yeah, I was texting with him a little bit today, actually.
Oh, yeah? Anything good?
We're just talking about some of these ridiculous quotes coming out of the combine.
Like J.J. McCarthy saying it's his dream to play for the Chicago Bears. Like, okay, dude.
That's not what we were talking about, but that is funny. We were talking about the quote from Tyler Owens, the Texas Tech safety. I don't know if you saw this.
I missed it.
I don't believe in space. I don't think there's other planets and stuff like that.
Hell yeah. Draft him right now.
Imagine not believing in outer space. You can see the moon. You can see it.
See the shit from a freaking driveway. Oh my God. But you know what? I don't need my cornerbacks thinking about space. I need them thinking about football. So I'm all in on drafting some of these weirdos.
Or they are thinking about wide open spaces. Ooh. That's a really bad one, but go ahead.
Ooh. Interesting. Very interesting. That's why we have Joe Mandel on these shows. Everybody give it up for Joe Mandel. That was a good one. Wide open spaces. Joe, the spring training is underway.
That's what I heard.
The spring training. What a moron I am.
I have the new spring training socks hat in the other room, but of course I'm not wearing it right now.
That's okay. You'll wear it on our next. You'll wear it throughout throughout the early stages of South Burbs Hitman, I'm sure too.
You're right.
Um,
That's a fact.
Joe, why have the White Sox not been atrocious so far in spring training? Everybody is expecting them to be like a 65, 70 win team at best, and here they are in spring training making us go, well, he looks good.
I think it's
Moncada. Oh,
because
Moncada. Ooh.
I think the weight of zero expectations is certainly weighing on them, and they have nothing to do except prove themselves. Also, they put a focus on defense in the offseason. For if there was a focus, you can say that the defense was the focus. I think that's really it. I mean, we also know that teams have gone undefeated in spring training, and they've been one of the worst teams in baseball. So I think we take it with a grain of salt. But I've been pleasantly surprised with the limited action that I've seen so far. And I got a notice today that my MLB TV renewed automatically. So I guess I'll be watching
Womp womp.
a lot of baseball this year.
You could see. Is Jason Benetti and the Detroit Tigers blacked out though where you are?
When they are home, yes. Well, actually, that's a great question. I don't know. You're probably right. They probably are.
Well, but you'll be able to watch them on local television or go to the bar and hear our good friend Jason calling the games. But I mean,
can tell you right now that's not going to happen very often. So
for sure. My Devils went undefeated in preseason this year. Didn't lose a single game. Killed their opponent in almost all of them. They've been as mid as I could have ever expected in the regular season so far. And when they were undefeated in the preseason, I was like, after the year they had last year, I was like, oh my God, this is the year they're going to win the cup. And then.
Well, Vin, real quick, did you have a good time in Jersey?
I did. It was everything I could have ever dreamed of in a trip to New Jersey for the Stadium Series, honestly. We did a live show from the parking lot, and there were 150 to 200 people watching at any given moment, and it was just an incredible day. The Devils won, and that wasn't the best part of the day. Like, that's how truly awesome it was. People coming up to me. I signed an autograph, Joe. Someone freaking wanted my autograph. I'm like, I'm not that cool.
I got a Vinnie autograph tattooed on my chest, guys.
You do?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Shit, I gotta catch up then. I gotta get a Joe one. I'll put mine on my butt.
Katie's got to catch up with me.
Yeah, for real. It's funny. I can only imagine her getting a Vinnie Parise signature tattooed. But yeah, the trip was absolutely unbelievable, and I had so much fun. But yeah, the team has only won twice since, I think. And they're right there on the playoff bubble. They played as bad as they possibly can, and they're still on the playoff bubble, which tells you about the future, I hope. But it is what it is. But the reason for even bringing them up at all was the spring training / preseason thing. Hopefully the White Sox can prove some people wrong, including me. But the spring training goodness so far isn't really persuading my opinion all too much.
Yeah, it's so much to look forward to, Vin. It's a new year of new opportunities for all the squads. And I was on a work meeting the other day. This is a bit of a ramble, but I had one of my White Sox hats on, and somebody looked at me and they're like, "Man, that just makes me sad." And I'm like, maybe, but the best part about this time of year is that all of last year goes in the dumpster, and we can start anew. Whether or not they stink or not, as long as they're better than last year, I'll be okay.
But also, if they're bad this year, at least we'll be able to have some fun with it. Last year was just like nasty. Everyone thought they'd bounce back. They're supposed to be this good team. It was just stinky. This year, everyone expects them to be bad. So if they are, it'll be like, oh, okay, well, at least we'll have some fun at the ballpark, eat some good food, whatever the case may be. So I'm looking forward to it. It's all getting going. Last week, Chicago Cubs signed Cody Bellinger to a 3-year deal worth $80 million with opt-outs after each year. Me either. New guy, apparently. After the first year, he will make $30 million. After the second year, it will be $30 million. And in the third year, it will be $20 million, assuming he doesn't opt out after any of those years. all signs point to if he has a really good year this year, he will opt out and try to go for a big contract. But the Cubs have him for this year and have so far actually went from having a pretty disappointing offseason to a rather productive offseason with a new manager and bringing back one of their star players from last year.
Yeah, man, I was shocked that he didn't go anywhere else. I mean, they must have been really looking for a ransom. I mean, that's the only reason that they're back is because other teams didn't, which I'm kind of surprised no other team would have offered him that for 3 years. Maybe they did, and he just wanted to come back to Chicago. But, I mean, let's be honest, the Cubs would have been in a lot of trouble if they didn't get him.
They would have. They absolutely would have. I like their lineup.
They still
now.
might be.
I like their lineup.
They
are going to run out Ian Happ, Peter Crow Armstrong, and Seiya Suzuki in the outfield. And then their infield is going to be probably running, drawing a blank on his name, Christopher Morel at third base, Dansby Swanson at shortstop, Nico Horner at second base, Bellinger at first. If their rotation does enough, I think and they have Craig Counsell, who's an upgrade over David Ross. Who in the NL Central is for sure a lock right now to take them down. The Reds came up last year and were good. I think the Brew Crew takes a major step back. And the only team I can see taking a step forward are the Cubs and the Reds. We'll see who takes a bigger step forward.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know if there's much to that division's a question mark, right? So the Cubs certainly have their opportunity to pounce. So see what they could do, right?
Absolutely. Do you value the Cubs and the White Sox have done this too this offseason, valuing defense over offense at times? And I'm not saying, we've seen offense that Dansby, Cody, Suzuki kind of, Horner for sure, Ian Happ. All these guys could be Gold Glove caliber players. Seems like the Cubs value that a little bit more than they have in maybe some previous years.
Yeah, I tell you one thing. I don't think this is a shocker to anybody, but I think they're the best team in Chicago. And
in any sport?
At the moment, I would say so.
I agree.
I would say, I mean, obviously the Hawks, so they will get there, but they're going to be a minute.
They're terrible right now. They're probably in last.
Yeah. Well,
I think they're worse at hockey right now than the White Sox are at baseball.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, it is saying a lot. I was there last night. They're terrible.
You were at Parise's last game in Chicago, right?
Yes. And
your cousin?
Yes, my cousin. They hemmed in all game. They couldn't get anything going. Bedard was the only one who looked like he can kind of use his skill to gain some offense, but just nothing was there for them against a team like the Avalanche. Bedard's one of the most exciting players in Chicago, but teams as a whole, I would buy stock in the Hawks the most out of any team in Chicago, maybe the Bears. But for right now, this season, yeah, I think they're the worst team in Chicago. But the Cubs, I'm with you. They're the best.
And they should certainly make a run at that division. I think expectations should be high on the north side. But the Bellinger signing is a huge one. It's going to be the narrative here that if he gets off to a hot start, I think the Cubs will.
I agree. It could really be the difference between like an 82-83 win team and being an 89-90 win team. I'm not saying he's going to have like a 7 WAR or anything like that, but got a guy who can hit. He had 26 home runs last year. He was, producing at a high rate. He could play first base. He could play the outfield. Mm-hmm. There's a National League designated hitter now. I don't know how they're going to utilize that, but it sure makes them a much better team.
Well, and let's be honest. I mean, like you said, I think he's the difference between a wild card spot and a division winning team. And that division winner gets you, and that's a lot more valuable in my personal opinion. So, again, that's probably maybe a little bit of a hot take, but I don't think it's as hot as people would say it is.
I mean, 2 of the 3 division winners get a first round bye in the playoffs.
Well, that's exactly it.
Like, and who's ahead of them? So like the Dodgers and the Braves, you would think. But the Braves are going to play
Maybe.
a lot of games against the Phillies, and they might take games away from each other, where the Cubs don't have that top dog in the division the way that maybe the Dodgers are or the Braves/Phillies can be. I know the Diamondbacks gave the Dodgers a hard time in the first half of last year, and that's why they didn't have the best record in the National League. But I don't know. The Diamondbacks, they're probably going to be pretty good again. I'm not saying they're not. But I think when I'm looking at a Dodger lineup that's going to consistently throw out Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, 1, 2, 3 every single game.
I love people were like, "Oh, is Otani washed because he got struck out by Garrett Crochet?" It's
Garrett
like,
Crochet's a good pitcher. How about that? Maybe that's allowed to be the case too.
well, clearly because the next at bat he went yard. So
Yeah, exactly. Otani's going to hit 45 home runs and have 100 RBIs, and his arm's going to heal in the following year. He's going to do the exact same thing while having a 2.8 ERA and, you know, an opponent batting average of 120. Like, Otani's so sweet. He's worth every penny. And Yamamoto made his Dodger debut yesterday. Heard he did pretty good.
oh, it's man, Vin, am I good or what? I predicted what you were gonna say.
That's show chemistry. That is show chemistry, my son. Look at Yamamoto. I mean, he's just painting it. Getting out. Well, I think this Semien at bat leads to a strikeout. I was like, I don't
Yes, it
recall
does.
seeing that Semien hit a dong off him, and that ball kind of carried a little bit, but then it went foul. But yeah, I did think I did see though that Yamamoto uses a nice three
That
pitch
movement
mix.
is sick.
It's the Japanese windup. It is so silky smooth. The way they teach fundamentals, I look at that. I mean, he's just you have no clue when what's coming when. And Semien, to his credit, fouls off 3 straight pitches here. He's a good hitter. There's no doubt.
I think this is the one that gets him. I think.
Is yeah, here we go. I mean, I actually didn't see the at bat. I read that he got Semien out for his first at bat of the.
Oh, never
Uh,
mind.
well, I mean, you know what though? There are balls that aren't swung at that are nice pitches. Where like Yamamoto is going to strike out a lot of hitters with that exact pitch that he just threw right there. And he's
See,
painting.
he could have easily gotten that call.
Yeah,
Too.
I mean the catchers buy him that call a fair amount of the time, I would assume. But I
I'm waiting
mean,
for it to come back after.
yeah.
I don't want to play 45 seconds straight.
Oh, I get it. Yeah,
There
look
it
at that.
is.
Right down the middle, and Semien's just got no answer. And Otani, he's like, hell yeah, we're gonna make a sick rotation next year between Glasnow and Yamamoto and Shohei. That Dodger team, they're gonna go from elite to super elite just by Otani being allowed to pitch again. And quite frankly, I'm excited to watch the Dodgers.
Yeah, me too. And this guy's a big reason.
I mean, he looks good in Dodger blue.
You're going to see him hit a ding dong here in a minute.
Yeah, and Garrett Crochet, to his credit, made his first start since college. I know it's spring training, but he was making 100-mile-an-hour throws.
Yeah.
He was painting corners, a little bit of gas, a little bit of junk, and he got Otani looking.
Yeah, this is Leone pitching. Who is this? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that the right way you say it, Leone?
Yeah. And it's not like it matters because Otani, he's capable of hitting a home run off of anybody. The way he stands though, Leone, wearing 39, I'm like, he kind of does resemble Aaron Bummer a little bit. Just the way I thought, I'm like, Aaron Bummer's on the freaking Braves. Like he's not even with the White Sox anymore, but he doesn't have the same exact pitching style. But I liked that pitch right there that we saw. For those listening to the audio are probably getting pretty frustrated, but you could always go to youtube.com/barroom network and find us talking over this. We should do this for a live game. I don't know what it would take to have rights to do something like that, but
yeah, I mean, it might be tough, but we could figure something out.
We could also not have the game showing and have people watch along with us.
Yeah, that's true.
Commentate it while we watch it, I think would be very, very fun. I actually love doing that kind of stuff. But, I mean, when Otani gets his pitch, as you're going to see right here, he's just going to take an up. That wasn't it.
I
That
lied.
wasn't it. I
See, this
mean,
is what happens when I don't get a chance to pre-screen these
but
bats.
that shows how good Ohtani is that he drew out that at bat. What was that, like 5 pitches in already? And, he's got people on first base, causing
This
chaos.
has gotta be it, the one coming up here. So
Yeah, I think so. Was it Freddie Freeman batting after him? I know he was there to celebrate the home run.
and they threw the
Oh,
ball away there
this
too.
explains why the guy was on second instead of first, though. I was a little confused. When I remember, I did watch the replay of Ohtani hitting the home run, and the guy was on second. When I saw him on first right there, I was like, "Huh, I thought that guy was on second." But obviously, that explains why. And then, of course, when he's on second, Ohtani is able to find a way to get his pitch and just absolutely drive it to the opposite field,
Here it comes.
which
Doink.
opposite field power is going to be nice for Ohtani at Dodger Stadium. But obviously, Otani's a switch hitter, right? Pretty sure Otani's a
I
switch
believe
hitter,
so.
which just adds to his alienness. Like, oh, you can hit and pitch at an elite level, and when you hit, you could do it switch hitting. It's actually pretty impressive. But I mean, hell yeah, the Dodgers. Most of their games are going to be late night. I'll probably be watching them a fair amount of the time, just because they're going to be must see TV. They got superstars all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Is he a switch hitter? Hang on, I'm showing here that he's a lefty.
He might be just a lefty. I could actually figure that out in 0.5 seconds. Click baseball on Sports Reference. The show dog.
I'm
The
seeing
show
lefty,
dog is a left-handed hitter only, exclusively.
Okay.
Yep, and he throws right. So
love it. Well, yeah, baseball's exciting, Vin. It's finally starting to come into fruition. What's weird is that I forgot they're doing that. See, the starting the season a week early in Seoul, I think, right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, all my fantasy leagues, I'm not counting that game. We're drafting later in case there's injury, but certainly something new for baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I'm looking forward to it. I'll watch those. I remember a couple years ago when the Mariners, did they play the A's maybe or the Angels? Played someone in Japan. Ichiro played that series and then retired. That was fun. I don't mind when it starts early and we get it going. Like, I'm a baseball fanatic. I love it and I can't wait to watch more of it. And, people in Chicago aren't going to have Cubs fans. I think are going to have a great season. I shouldn't say that. I really, really think they're going to be having a great season. There will be playoff baseball on the north side. I think. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I would bet yes. I would take the over on wins for the Cubs.
I like it.
Besides the Dodgers, who are going to have to wait till like late at night to watch.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm going to enjoy watching the Yankees this year too.
Yeah, a little bit of a scare with Juan Soto's first at bat, huh?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, they need him. Do you think they're going to keep him long term?
I have no idea. I think so, probably.
I would try. I really would try. I mean, years and years and years of Soto with Judge, and then who knows what you get out of Stanton. That could be a 3-headed monster. It's for sure a 2-headed monster. But I don't know. I'm excited to watch the Yanks. The AL East is so compelling to me because the O's were so good last year, and I could see them being very good again this year. The two bottom teams last year were the Red Sox and the Yankees, and that could happen again, which would be wild. I don't think it's going to. I think the Yankees are going to be marginally better, and I think the Rays are going to be marginally worse. But I like the Blue Jays, and they're not afraid to make a big trade or spend some money. We'll see how the rest of the offseason goes. The fact that like some big free agents are still out there, could work in the Blue Jays' favor because they're willing to spend and make trades and stuff like that. But I mean, it's going to be so fun to watch that division all year long.
Yeah, free agency has been weird. We talked about this the last time we talked baseball, but I don't know what it's going to take because we're so close to baseball. I mean, spring training is already underway. So what are these guys waiting for?
It's just the modern way of agents controlling everything, the Scott Boras effect, holding out as long as you can. Uh, I remember it was, what was it, 2019, 2018, when like Craig Kimbrell didn't sign and he was like the last huge player. It was before he started to fall off. He was still an elite closer and people were waiting for him to sign. Like, where's Craig Kimbrell going to go? How's this going to work out? He ended up going to the Cubs, but he waited till like May to sign, or June.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see like Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery doing that. Am I crazy?
Yeah, I don't see that either. I think they're all going to sign within the next week.
Do you have like a preference or a prediction on where Snell ends up? I know that's like the big dog. He was the big dog pitcher entering the offseason besides Ohtani. Probably even more than Yamamoto because he was proven in the MLB. He literally won the Cy Young last year.
I could see Snell landing in Toronto.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's my guess, but we'll see.
Okay. I hope he goes. It'd be really. Would you laugh if he went to the Dodgers, or would you get annoyed?
I'd be so annoyed.
Okay. It'd be funny.
No, it wouldn't.
Because he'd be reunited with Glasnow after
I'd be so
with
done.
the Rays. That's funny. Well, if he went to the Dodgers, like lockout confirmed.
Literally anywhere else.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Watch him sign with the White Sox, Finn.
I mean, they'll never pay him.
I know they won't.
If I knew they were willing to pay a guy, but they just sucked, I'd be all for it. I don't think like they're willing to. There are plenty of bad teams who are willing to pay people. The Rangers before last year, they were always kind of stinky, but they were always willing to pay people. They paid freaking A-Rod, brought in a bunch of people over the years, and it never worked out until last year, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't do that. It's so frustrating. But if he went to the Dodgers, I think like lockout confirmed.
Yeah, they hopefully don't do that. So
yeah,
there's a lot of teams that could use the services, though.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. Well, I hope everybody, despite what is going on with the White Sox, is intrigued and excited for the upcoming season of the team.
I'm still ready.
Yeah, and South Burbs Hitman. I'm looking forward to getting that going and having a good time with you guys. It really is one of my treats of the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been chatting it up with Alyssa Bergamini, trying to get her on. It looks like hopefully mid-ish April we might be able to get her on after the Bulls slow down a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Those damn Bulls really took away our Alyssa Bergamini chat time.
Yeah, they play a lot of games on Mondays.
Yeah, and she was like free to come on any non-Sox.
I'm sure I could reach out to Ryan too. I probably should do that.
Yeah, yes, love Ryan.
I'm sure he's back for another year. I have not heard otherwise. So
me either, and we've heard otherwise on everyone. Are you annoyed that Sox Math is leaving with Jason Benetti?
No, because it wouldn't be the same if it stayed.
That's exactly how I felt. I was like, why would we want it? It would suck. Because not only is Jason gone, Chris Kamka's gone too.
Mm-hmm.
Under the radar thing and Benetti was the brains of Sox Math, no pun intended. But when days that Benetti like needed help, Kamka would help him. Both of them are gone.
Yeah, here's what it is.
Did you have Kamka on in that like 7-week span of South Burbs Hitman before I showed up?
I don't think we had Kamka on at all.
Yeah, well, I'd never been on with him. That's why.
No.
Interesting.
We have not.
I wonder if he'd come on because he's going to Marquee to do the Cubs, so it would still be appealing. Like, to hear his perspective. Joe, let's talk a little foosball before we wrap things up.
Yeah.
The combine's going on right now. Quotes are coming from all over the place. You got Caleb Williams telling people that the Chicago Bears got to prove they want to win. You got Drake May talking about the potential of playing for any of the top 3 teams in the draft. Jaden Daniels won't give his medicals to any, or no, was it Caleb Williams? One of them won't.
Caleb Williams won't give his medicals.
He will only give his medicals to like 5 teams, the 5 top drafting teams, and that's like his right or whatever. You got Rome Odunze saying that he would love for the Bears to take him at pick number 9 because playing with Caleb Williams would be sensational. We've seen upcoming draft picks like Marvin Harrison Jr., who might be the best overall player at his position to come out of the draft this year, talk about how the White Sox, or not the White Sox, excuse me, the Bears should consider keeping Justin Fields, because obviously Marvin Harrison Jr., Justin Fields, Ohio State. You're getting compliments on your Notre Dame hat from Katie. It's just a sick hat. I mean, it'll interrupt any conversation to compliment that hat. And he says, "Thanks, Katie." But yeah, I'm excited for what's going on with what they got going on out of the combine, and I assume that you have an opinion on what the Bears should do at this point with Justin Fields and with the Caleb Williams thing. They have pick number 9. They could take an offensive lineman. They could take one of the receivers. It won't be Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't think. It could be Malik Neighbors. I mean, talk me through it. You're on mute, by the way. I don't know if you know.
I appreciate you telling me that. I did not remember that I was on mute because I had to cough. Listen, I thought I knew what they should do, and now I don't because I have just too much overload of like Caleb Williams hate, but also he's got a lot of skill, but also I don't like how he's acting like he's like God's gift to the world. That kind of rubs me the wrong way. At least that's my opinion. Some people don't have to agree with it. Because originally I was like, oh yeah, they're going to take Williams and they're going to trade Justin and then they're going to get some picks or whatever. But what I originally wanted them to do was keep Justin, trade the first pick, get a slew of picks, and rebuild your team. Now I'm not sure that's the right move either. Now I kind of lean towards trade the first pick, trade Justin Fields, and sign a top-tier free agent quarterback. Bears fans will hate me for saying this, but sign Kirk Cousins.
Very interesting perspective.
Retool, get picks for the future, get a high pick in another draft. I don't know. I'm sure Caleb Williams is going to go on to be amazing when I say that, but I don't know. I just get a weird vibe from the guy. He's got a lot of talent. I just don't know if it's worth the first pick in the draft.
Now, he's acted like a scumbag at times. There's no doubt about it. But I wonder if he looks at highly drafted quarterbacks that go to bad teams and he sees them all fail. Right? When's the last time a guy went 1 overall and was or top 3 overall and was incredible? You know, the best draft.
Peyton Manning, maybe?
Yeah, and Andrew Luck. Like Trevor Lawrence, the jury's still out on Trevor Lawrence. And Andrew Luck, I think he was amazing. Like he had injury problems and he retired early, and so people will call him a bust for that. But like he has borderline Hall of Fame numbers through like only playing for like 8 years. So, you know, and he made it to 2 AFC championship games. Like he was really a Tom Brady away from being a Super Bowl champion at times. And then the Colts kind of did him dirty with the way they built their offensive line, and he was always just getting torched every season.
Destroyed.
Yeah. And so, you know, but other than those 3, Trubisky, 17th best player in his draft. Maybe lower.
The only one that's kind of coming around now, later on in his career, is Baker. But
yeah, but with a new team.
Right.
A team that's proven to have like an infrastructure and something in place, kind of the remnants of the Tom Brady way in Tampa Bay. But when he was with Cleveland, he was forced out of town. He played with 3 teams last year combined. You know, the Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield draft, the best player from that draft. Sam Darnold went 4th overall to the Jets. The best player in that draft was the one taken last out of them all, freaking Josh Allen. And Lamar Jackson was like the 30th overall pick by the Ravens. Mahomes was 11. You know, the teams that draft at the top are normally drafting at the top for a reason. I do wonder if Caleb Williams sees that a little bit and he's like, people are going to think I'm an a-hole, but I'm going to do my due diligence to make sure I don't end up like them. If that turns out to be the case, I will no longer talk crap about the way he's handled himself. If he is God's gift to the world, I'm cool with him acting like it because I think you need to kind of sort of believe in yourself if you're going to succeed at the quarterback position in the NFL. If you're going to go into the Super Bowl and beat Patrick Mahomes, you have to believe you can. And believing you can sometimes means you sound a little cocky to some
I
people.
will say the one thing I liked from him this week is that he said he wants to be immortal.
Go be immortal, Caleb. Put on.
We'll do it.
If the Bears draft him and he's good, he will be the most popular athlete of the 2020s in Chicago.
I mean, he's got the city, he's got the market. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to draft him. He can certainly hurl the football. No one's doubting that at all. It's just a matter of if they do take him, they have to protect him. They have to give him weapons.
I agree. If you're Ryan Poles right now and you're pitching to Caleb Williams, his exact words, article on USA Today's Bears Wire, written by yours truly. Caleb Williams reveals what he wants to learn from the Bears. Do you want to win? What would you say based on what you know about the Bears as your pitch on why it's clear that they want to win?
Well, I mean, I think the confidence, if they want to win, there's one way you prove it, Vin. You tell Caleb Williams to his face, we're drafting you. We're drafting you because we believe you could take us to the promised land. If you want to win and the move is to win from now, and like a Mahomes run, we want to be relevant in this division from the second we draft you in April until 20 years from now when you retire. We want to win. We're going to protect you. We're going to support you. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you weapons. We're going to give you protection. And we want to win with you. That's how you tell him you want to win. That's the only way I think that you bring in this guy and you give him the fire.
I couldn't agree more. And you tell him, okay, we have pick number 9. We haven't decided yet, but we're debating between an edge rusher, a major team need to pair up with Montez Sweat, another really good wide receiver that we could pair up with DJ Moore. I personally think I think the world of DJ Moore. I think he's a top 15 wide receiver in the NFL, maybe top 10. I do think there's a world where Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Rome Odunze are just as good, if not better. All 3 of them. So if you take one of them at 9, you're pairing him with DJ Moore. We might want to upgrade the offensive line and shift over Tevin Jenkins back to right tackle. And, what's his name from last year? Oh, my God. He's my favorite player on the Bears, and I'm drawing a blank on his name just because I'm talking right now. The guard that they drafted in the first round last year.
God, he was really good too.
He's the 3rd best right guard in the NFL. If you take a Joe Alt or one of these guys, Notre Dame faithful, give a shout out to your hat. If you draft a left tackle like that, and all of a sudden you have this offensive line, this is my pitch to Caleb Williams. That number 9 pick is going to add at least something to the team that fills one of our major holes.
Darnell Wright.
Oh my God, yes, he's incredible. Ryan Poles has been really good at drafting since coming over. Darnell Wright. You have that offensive line. If they add somebody, that might not even be the biggest position of need right now, left tackle. They have some pretty good ones. They need a center. There's no Creed Humphrey walking through that door, but there are some pretty good free agent centers. We are building something. It is clearly coming into place. We went from 3 wins in 2022 to 7 wins in 2023. And you should know as well as anyone, Caleb, you cannot win in the NFL unless the quarterback plays well. Yes, we want to win. You have to be a big part of it, though. You are the quarterback. We will give you all of the tools. The defense is already top 10. If Jalen Johnson and some of these other guys on the defensive backs really do elevate themselves into Pro Bowl territory every year, the linebackers are really good. You add one more edge rusher to join Montez Sweat and create a great pass rush, the kind of the way Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks formed a really good pass rush together.
And the salary cap went up too, Vin.
They have $90 million in salary cap space. They had a lot before adding the extra that all the teams got. And so, yes, Caleb, we want to win. This is how it's going to happen. I laid out to you all the reasons the defense is going to be top 5. There's a world where it's top 1, if they really keep pumping it up the way that they have, and these defensive backs are all Pro Bowlers, and the linebackers that we signed are really good. The offense, DJ Moore, I already got into the 3 receivers. Cole Kmet is real good. Maybe they go out and get a good running back, like a really good running back. Maybe they shell out a little coin for a Saquon Barkley. I'm not saying I would do that, because I think running back, you could develop Roshan Johnson into a stud or something like that. I really liked his game at Texas. If he wasn't at the same school as Bijan, I think he probably would have been higher drafted.
Is Derrick Henry a free agent?
Derrick Henry might be a free agent. If you want to get a veteran like that, though, to help pave the way for guys like Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson, go for it. But you know what, Caleb? You don't win in the NFL without good quarterback play. And I know Mr. Irrelevant was in the Super Bowl, but make no mistake about it, he was good. Just because he was drafted late doesn't mean he wasn't as good as any quarterback in the NFL this season.
Yes, Henry's a free agent, by the way.
Hell yeah. So yeah, a guy like that, even if it gets hurt, he's there, he's in the room, he helps people. There are all sorts of ways to explain to Caleb Williams why the Bears want to win. I think they've shown it.
I'm with you, buddy. We'll see what happens. I'm just ready for the draft because I want to know. I've had enough speculation.
Yeah, the speculation is getting old. That does make me a little happy though, because that's the galvanizing team in Chicago. Half the city likes the Cubs, half the city likes the White Sox. Some people like hockey, some people like basketball. Very few like both. The Chicago Bears are that team that everybody loves in town. They are the straw that stirs the drink in this town.
That's right.
And everybody who watches the team closely has an opinion on whether or not they should take the quarterback, keep Justin Fields, trade the pick, do this, do that, one way or the other. I love that people are talking about a sports team in Chicago. So I want hockey to be as popular as football in this state. It's my goal to help get it there. But football is still the king as we stand right now.
Football is the king in this town, and it will be for a while.
Absolutely. Joe, are there any other sports stories you want to get off your chest before we call the show at a good 45-minute pace?
No, I just saw that Caitlin Clark said she's going to go on the WNBA draft. So
very good for her. So excited.
She'll be playing close to us in Indiana, most likely. Yep. The Indiana Fever.
They have the number 1 pick, right?
Yep.
And there's no way she's not the number 1 pick.
Right. So she'll likely, unless something drastically changes, will be playing in Indiana. So, yeah.
Iowa to Indiana.
In women's basketball.
Imagine that. Iowa to Indiana.
Home sweet home.
Love it. The Midwest. That's what we do. Once she's on Indiana, I will make a trip to go see it. It would be my first WNBA game. I've never gotten to a Sky game. But then again, she'll come to us, right? Like the Sky will. I don't know if there's interleague play or if they're in the same division. Yeah, no, I'd like to make a trip out to see a home game for Indiana, though. Yeah. I mean, the hype is real. She's really good. I hope they win the whole thing. I hope Iowa wins the Natty.
They were 8-1 last time I checked, so it could be decent money if you make that bet.
Yeah, for real. Seriously. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed today's show, talking a little spring training Cubs, a little spring training White Sox with us, little Chicago Bears chitter chatter. Joe and I, we try our very best to collab schedules and make this show as weekly of a thing as possible. With baseball season coming up, it should be a little bit easier. I'm very much looking forward to it all. Joe, thank you very much for coming on and helping me with the show as always.
Hey, no problem, buddy. Then going to take this moment. There's a lot of great stuff coming up on the bar room tonight. You got Willis Twin Towers, weekend sports betting tips. And then tomorrow night, Saturday night, 7 p.m. Central, somebody big just died. Richard Lewis. Mike North and I will be doing a show on him. Of course, from Curb Your Enthusiasm, lots of stand-up. And a lot of people probably know him from Robin Hood Men in Tights. So overall, should be a fun show tomorrow night. Tune in.
Joe, for one of these upcoming episodes of Somebody Big Just Died, I need you to wear one of those like funeral hats that some men wear.
Hats.
It's almost like a golf cap, like an Italian golf cap.
Oh, I have one of those market hats. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I need you to wear one of those with your nice suit one day. I think you would look so
Okay.
handsome. You'd look
Wow.
so handsome, Joe.
Thanks, buddy.
Your wife would be waiting for you outside the door to give you a big smooch if
Oh, that's
she
not what I
saw
thought
you
were
wearing
gonna
that.
say.
Oh, this is a family show.
All right.
It's a
Yeah.
family show. She'd be Joe. I mean, I'd be ready to give you a big smooch.
My wife likes the market hat. She does.
I'm telling you, Joe. I just unlocked a whole new world for you.
I got to get a new one. Mine's kind of old and beat up, so maybe I'll
All
get
right.
a new one.
We'll have it in time for
Austin
when Jimmy
Scully
Carter
Company
dies.
makes some nice ones, so I'll check it out.
Did you hear what I said? Have
I did not.
Have it in time for when Jimmy Carter finally croaks.
Well, that's never gonna happen. The guy's a
Honestly,
robot. Been on hospice for 2 years.
Oh
Never
my
heard of that in
God.
my life.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good for him. Good for him. It's not like I wouldn't be trying to hang on to my very best if I were him too. So
If my wife died before me, I'd be like, all right,
pull the plug already.
I'm out.
See
I'm
ya.
out.
It's
Yeah.
been fun. Speaking of it's been fun, this show, it's been fun. I can't thank everybody in the chat enough. Joe, great show, and we'll see you next week. Make sure you listen to all the shows here at the Barroom Network. Catch Joe. He's going to be looking handsome real soon on Somebody Big Just Died. Go check it out. And as always, thank you for listening.
Another happy landing.